morning and welcome to our open session again since we started yesterday. So the meeting is already open and just continuation of yesterday's meeting. And we had a report from the governor yesterday afternoon. And so it looks like we got a few more decisions we need to make today. I guess probably turn it over to Kyle, I guess, to present what the governor said.
Sure. Good morning, Mr. Mayor and Council and those attending via the internet. So last night at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the governor held his press conference in regards to the phased approach. And he did announce that the state would be moving into phase one, which is still a stay-at-home order. And they did stress that, certainly him and Dr. Cohen, the DHHS secretary. So what the phase one does is lift some restrictions, mainly on commercial businesses, but also puts in some fairly strict guidelines, 50% occupancy according to fire marshal standards, et cetera, allows some additional gatherings, church services, and public protests are allowed. But they do need to meet the social distance and need to be outdoors if it's more than 10 people. So there's a lot of information that was sent out as part of that. We've got a sort of a Q&A that outlines some of the standards, what the differences are between the phases. Basically, it's the stay-at-home remains in place. Mass gatherings are generally limited to no more than 10 people. Teleworking is still encouraged. Social distancing, hand hygiene, and other methods to slow the spread of COVID-19 should be practiced, including staying at least 6 feet apart. Restaurants and bars still remain closed for dine-in service and on-premise beverage consumption. Bars are to remain closed. Personal care and grooming businesses, including barbershops, beauty, hair, nail, and tanning salons, and tattoo parlors do remain closed. Entertainment facilities, movie theaters, bowling alleys, and performance venues remain closed. Fitness facilities such as health clubs and gyms remain closed. People may leave their homes to obtain medical services, obtain goods and services, engage in outdoor exercise, take care of others, or volunteer. Playgrounds remain closed, which is consistent with our discussion yesterday. Open retail businesses must meet certain requirements to ensure the safety of their employees and customers, and visitation continues to be banned at long-term care facilities except for certain compassionate care situations. They talked about the 3 W's. When you leave your house, wear your face mask, wait 6 feet apart from others, and wash and disinfect frequently were the main priorities. In regards to some town business, there were some guidance information that was sent out about day camps and sports. So our Parks and Rec staff is looking at those and will be developing policies for adherence so that if there are opportunities that we can open up some of those programs and offerings, we certainly want to do that. But ultimately, a lot of information that was put out, yesterday afternoon. I'd urge everybody to go through there. I think I sent over the documents, including that Q&A, which has a lot of good detailed information. So that's my general synopsis, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. I have had a discussion with the other 2 towns on short-term rentals. I think they are looking at opening theirs up either the 8th or the 9th. He did talk about that a little bit, but he is saying that if you go to your second home or short-term rentals, that you're encouraged to stay there as well. In other words, treat it, stay at home. That would be what he is urging. So I guess we need to discuss about our short-term rentals. So I'll open it up to anybody that wants to start it off.
Mayor Medlin,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to make a motion that we go into closed session pursuant to General Statute 143-318.11, item 3, to consult with a town attorney regarding potential legal implications of the state emergency restrictions and to seek the town attorney's advice.
I want to second that motion.
Was that a second?
I
Dwight?
second it.
Okay, all in favor say aye. Okay, we'll go into closed session at this time. We'll be back after that. Thank you. Howdy, folks. We're back now, and I guess we need a motion on short-term rentals.
I'll make a motion to open short-term rentals on the 8th.
I second that motion.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried.
Mayor, I want to clarify for both the council and the public. I believe the executive order in place now expires at 5 p.m. on the 8th. So when you say open on the 8th, do you mean as
In accordance with phase 1 of the governor's plan at 5 p.m. Friday, May the 8th.
right? But we may want.
I'm sure it'll drive people to start checking in on Saturday, but if we let them know sooner rather than later.
Yeah. I just want to make it clear. So the rentals open after 5 o'clock on the 8th, and we may want to clarify that motion, or at least, how about this? Could one of you make a motion that the last motion becomes effective at 5:01 p.m. on May 8th, 2020? So that way it's clear.
Motion that the last motion comes into effect at 5 p.m. on Friday, the 8th. It will go in effect then.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Yeah.
Thank you, council. And I agree to let the people know the sooner the better, so it can be more organized, getting the word out. So thank you.
All righty.
Yes, sir.
Stephanie, can you send it out to all the real estate companies?
Yes, sir. We have a document prepared that will be released today.
Okay. All righty.
And Mr. Mayor, just for purposes of council's information, that information that we'll send to the realtors will also include the CDC guidelines for cleaning and disinfection that were sent to us, and as well as some links to the North Carolina DHHS. So just wanted to let you know that.
Stephanie, I have a question for you real quick, please. Is the information you're sending out to the rental companies, does that have where we are asking them to have people bring their own paper products and cleaning supplies in because there's a shortage here?
Yes, it does.
I'm wondering about that because I talked to the the grocery stores and all, and they say that they're not having any trouble getting those supplies now. And they ask us not to do that. So I don't know that we want to, you know, turn down our, I don't know.
No, Doug, let me ask you a question.
Come here and buy anything.
Doug, let me ask you a question
Paper
real quick,
goods,
if you don't mind.
paper goods is probably good, but not all the supplies.
Now,
Can
let
we
me ask you a
put it
question.
that way?
So, for example, this, just use the Walmart out here. It doesn't have a lot of the disinfectants or paper. You'll go out, maybe you might limit per one, but if you influx that by 10 times, there won't be anything. For example, I can't get more than 2 gallons of milk at the Walmart here, but I can get 25 gallons at the Porter's Neck one. So I'm just curious what information they're giving you on that.
So wonder why they don't have why are they limiting it here and not at the one in Porter's Neck? Can they not get it in here, or?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things I can't get. I can get disinfectant spray there. I've gone over, just yesterday, I couldn't get disinfectant spray, you know?
Okay.
But I got it down Porter's Neck.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand. Sounds like to me it's a store management problem.
Correct.
Huh?
Correct. So, yeah.
Okay.
So
All right, we just leave it in there. That's all right. That's fine. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I've got 2 questions.
Okay.
After reading the fact check or worksheet that was sent from the governor's office this morning on pages 3 and on pages 6, it gives some pretty direct, I guess, guidance to the restaurants owners to remain closed. Let me see here. But they may continue to stay open to provide drive-through and takeout and delivery. But it does not cover outdoor dining.
I checked that this morning.
Yeah.
I asked the governor's office this morning about that, and it is illegal to have outdoor dining.
So maybe they should be.
Yeah, they need to make, I told them it was not clear and that I had already had some businesses ask me about it.
Yeah, because if social distancing is allowed, you know, they said the church can go outside and have a little bit longer numbers. So some of the folks that contacted me, and I just want to finish with my comment, they were, you know, they felt that they could manage to keep social distancing and disinfect in between clients and such. So I thought I'd bring it to your attention, but if that's what the governor's office said, then I would hope that we get something that we can communicate with the residents that's more deliberate, because right now that stands a little vague.
It is vague. Of course, it's like a lot of things that the state puts out. It's pretty vague on what they're saying. And then that was just like when they allowed the bars to open up, it was because it was vague in the description, you know, as far as outside. And then they come back and put a black eye on us because the police had to go out there and close the bars down.
Right.
For serving outside. Like I say, I had a couple of restaurants ask me yesterday, he said inside dining, and he never mentioned outside dining. So
Okay.
he didn't say it was okay, or he didn't say it wasn't okay.
Yeah, that was,
Well-
you received the same question I did. The last question I have for you, sir, is we discussed the wearing a face mask in our session yesterday, I believe in open, and I didn't want people to walk away with what was discussed yesterday. And I would like if you could give, you know, some guidance on where we're going with that decision.
I thought we were going to attorneys.
Well, I don't want us to, if I may answer that question, we are looking into that further. And I believe we have a meeting Friday.
No, we don't have a scheduled meeting Friday. That's the following Friday, the 15th.
Okay.
No, yesterday we recessed the meeting until Friday, and then we came back and called this one. So
Okay.
we recessed this
Well,
one today till Friday.
I think we should, simply because Friday is the 8th. And to address the question Councilman Torres just brought up, that'll give us an opportunity to provide clarification with respect to any face covering restriction we implement.
Yeah, we can go through all of our restrictions at that time.
Yeah, I just know that the public has a thought in their mind as of today based on yesterday's conversation,
Right.
and just wanted to let them know that they will be receiving an update to that.
And we will certainly,
Nothing is required before Friday.
yeah,
Okay.
and we will certainly do the public informational launch as we have with all the other amended declarations, if and when a new amended declaration is issued. And if I may go back to your other question about restaurants, Councilman Torres, as I read, I know you directed your question to the mayor, but as I read that on page 3, as it pertains to restaurants, it says they remain closed for dine-in services, but may continue to stay open to provide drive-through, takeout, and delivery. So I read that to mean that the only things the restaurants can do at this time is drive-through, takeout, or delivery. I realize it's silent on outside dining, but I don't read it.
The order explicitly states on page 8 of the actual order that consumption of food and beverages occurs off premises. So even outside dining on premise would not be allowed.
Right.
Now, if somebody wants to take the food and go to a public open space to consume that, our parks will be open on Friday, and somebody, as long as they're socially distancing, could theoretically go and take it to a picnic bench or something of that nature. But the on-premise consumption on that property is not allowed according to this section in the actual order, not the FAQ.
During phase 1.
During phase 1, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Kyle, people also sit in their cars and eat anyway.
Oh yeah, well, sure, absolutely.
I mean,
But just
they buy something at a restaurant and they go out in their car and eat. That's not been prohibited.
yeah, I mean, technically it is because it's still on premise.
That's social distancing as it gets. When you get in your car, you close the doors and no one's around.
No,
think
I
that's
understand.
Pretty social.
So
I
there's
understand.
yeah, so there's some unique restaurants around here that have patios that are public space. So are we saying that they can eat in that public space?
This
No,
is what
that's still on premise of the restaurant.
this is how it reads on page 8 of the order, number section 4A4 under restaurants. The title of that section is, or subsection is, no sit down service. Sit down food or beverage service is prohibited at any kind of businesses, including but not limited to grocery stores, pharmacies, convenience stores, gas stations, and charitable food distribution sites. So I read that as Kyle just said, that no on-premises sit down at any of these restaurants or other businesses that serve food.
Okay.
One other question, the letter that is going out to the realtors, does it state in there that they are required to bring a face mask? I mean, I know we're going to make this decision come at a later time, whether it be tomorrow or Friday, but if people are coming for the weekend, I think they should have some type of direction. You know, it is, you bring a face mask, you may be required to wear it in a public area, such as a box store.
As of yesterday, it was stating that it was mandatory. As of this morning, we are going to have to amend that sentence to reflect the actions of the board today.
Okay.
But we hadn't had any action actually on face mask, but
Yeah, Friday.
yeah, we can.
Yes.
I would ask them, the realtors, to suggest that they bring they can suggest that they bring face coverings.
Yeah.
With them.
Yes, sir.
I don't think that's wrong.
Now,
Brian,
Mr.
would that be okay?
Yeah, I mean, actually, they could, if they wanted to, they could make it a condition of reservations if they wanted to. That's the private sector. But yes, encouraging them to encourage their vacationers to bring face masks with them is a great idea.
Right.
So as the statement currently reads, it says, as of May 8th, it is requested to wear a face mask while in closed public spaces where social distancing is not possible.
Sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah, but I mean, you need to make sure that in other words, remind the filters to ask them to bring them with them.
Yes, sir. I can add that.
And I would say strongly encourage as opposed to requested.
Yeah.
That's in line with the governor's language.
Yep.
Mr. Attorney, Brian, are you requesting a meeting Friday for this for us to make a decision on how you're gonna write this up?
I think it would be a good vehicle for us to have to recess this meeting till Friday morning in case that meeting is needed. If that meeting's not needed, we can always cancel it.
What time?
I'll leave that to y'all. 10 o'clock worked good today, but I'm flexible. So,
Well, if you send out,
let's just
your proposal or what you think we need to say, I guess I can just get a consensus from everybody.
yes, sir. However you want to do it. I mean,
So we may not need the meeting Friday.
right, but if you don't,
About it, then we can have a meeting.
correct. If you recess this meeting until Friday at 10, you have that opportunity if needed. If not, you can always just canceling it.
Right.
Is what I'm suggesting.
Right. Okay.
Otherwise, you'd have to renotice it.
Okay. All right. All
It's
right.
just, it also serves as an opportunity to provide clarity, another means of communication, just for thought.
That's right. You want to go through all the regulations again anyway, Friday, right?
Yeah. Yes,
Make
sir.
sure everybody understands. Okay.
And I'll prepare that so that we can again have those visual slides up for council as well as the public that are viewing that.
That is a good idea. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So we will have the meeting Friday, if that's
10
okay.
a.m. 10.
At 10. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Is there anything else on the agenda that we need to cover in this meeting?
I don't believe so.
Tom, is there anything else we need to cover in this meeting?
No, sir, Mr. Helms, unless you want to adopt a budget. I don't think we're ready for
We're not ready. Unless we've got a lot of extra money, we'll just go ahead and
Make a motion to recess this meeting at 10 o'clock Friday morning.
Friday morning. Okay.
Second.
Appreciate it. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Did you do that?
Did that.
She
I said
did.
recess it to Friday morning at 10 o'clock.
All right. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you, folks. Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Have a good week.